If you created a video course, which platform should you use for your video courses? Let's talk about it. The cheapest one, of course. Now hold on, the cheapest one isn't always the best. Let's compare them a little bit, okay? I think that's a great idea. Everyone needs to know. Some websites are basically a rip-off. Other ones are bad. And other ones are not bad or a rip-off, but they just charge recurring fees. So maybe it's not for you. Good point, Vincent. It is Vincent. Whatever. Why do I even try? Just show us the different websites that host video courses.
So I made a little overview because I'm just so sick of people just recommending things and not really just comparing. If you buy something at the store, sometimes you compare things that cost $1 or $2 more or less, and sometimes you just go for the cheaper option just because, or you go like, oh, this one has 20 ounces and that one has 25 ounces, so that one is comparatively cheaper. I mean, a lot of people do that, and so why wouldn't you do that with something that's expensive? And especially if your business depends on it, and if it's gonna be expensive in the future or not. And so I put these together. I think a lot of people overlook these. I've heard some of these names so often, but personally, I think the worst decision you can make is based on some impulse of what you've seen the most. Now, for example, some of these websites do way more marketing than other websites, but that doesn't mean they're better. Now, compare, for example, Audible to Scribd. Have you ever heard of Scribd? Scribd. It has way lower prices, way more books that you could just get for free. Audible is just really a bad deal. And I hate Amazon beyond all reason because of personal experiences I've had with them in my business. But that's not the point. It's not just because of that. They're just a really bad deal. But they advertise more, and that's why they have more market share. And it's always like that. Sometimes you just find really bad deals because they advertise more. Now, I want you to skip all the advertising and just look at this overview. And it may not have every element in there, but it has most of the elements that you need to know about. Now, I'm a little biased, I will tell you, because I am doing my video courses through Thrivecart. And before I go into all of these, I have to also tell you that there's also a way to get into some of these platforms that are new and just starting up. If you go to Appsumo, Appsumo is Appsumo, and sometimes they give you like really cheap lifetime deals, like $200 or something for a lifetime deal, because they're trying to grow their audience and they're not that big yet. Having said that, I bought 2 of those actually, so I spent like $300 on some of those, and they lacked some of the things that I mentioned in here, and that's why I still bought Thrivecart after that. Now, Thrivecart is what I use, and it's $495. Now, that's a little bit of a steep payment, but when you think about it, it's a one-time fee. And when there's anything that I don't like about business is if you have to pay recurring fees for something to keep using it. Because how can I give any of you lifetime access to my courses if I have to pay monthly? Then the moment I stop paying, I have to kick you guys out. So it doesn't make any sense to me. You need a lifetime deal for courses. Now, obviously, I have subscriptions that are monthly or yearly, and that's fine if you're taking a course. Like if you finished the course or you think you're not going to get anything else out of it, then just cancel your membership or something, or if there's nothing else coming up, that's fine. But that's different than having a software that you have to keep using to make money or to offer to your students. So I think the one fee is everything to me. Like it just like, even if it was a few $100s more, I would still do it, because it means one time you're done and you can use it for the rest of your life. Now, some people have worried about updates, but Thrivecart has promised that it will include all the updates. I haven't seen any problems with it so far. And Thrivecart has recently added, you can also sell physical products, but they recently added the course platform to it, so they can sell video courses. Now, another thing I really love about Thrivecart is that it has multiple payment options. And that is really important, because how many times have you not? And so the guy from Samcart keeps emphasizing that in his videos. I listen to a lot of his videos on YouTube. He keeps emphasizing this. He says, how many times hasn't it happened that a customer gets all excited about it, they go through all your sales page, And then they get to the end and then they're like, I have to go get my credit card. I don't know where my wallet is. Yeah, and then I have to put the whole number in on my phone when my finger is twice as big as the numbers or the or the letters on my phone that you type in, and then I misspell it and I have to correct it. Like this is why I hate phones sometimes. And so there's all these obstacles, and you know how many people leave? A lot. They get to the cart, they added it to cart, they're ready to check out, and you're missing out on the sale. Why? Because they said, never mind. I don't feel like getting out of my lazy chair. I don't feel like attaching my PayPal account to this. I don't even know what my credit card is. I know I have to go get it. And so what I like about Thrivecart, and Samcart has that as well, they have Apple Pay, they have Google Pay, they have PayPal, and they have credit card. And you probably saw those options if you bought my course, which is great because some people do use Apple Pay, and I kind of like PayPal sometimes, but with the credit card I get 1% back, so that's very important. So you don't want people to go because the payment options really matter. And so when you do credit card, Thrivecart says you have to connect Stripe to it. So you will have to get a Stripe account, and that's the same with like a lot of these other ones too. So that's no different. Now, what I also like is that you can bundle. Bundles are very important, so you can bundle multiple courses. You don't just get one course. And another thing that Samcart keeps emphasizing too, that guy, he says order bumps. Order bumps are so important because you're doing Facebook advertising or something, and your average customer costs you like $10 or $20 or $50 to acquire, and then it's so hard to make your money back and to keep putting this money into all of these ads. He said, but if you have an order bump, it shows that 20 to 40% or something, I forgot the numbers, add the order bump to their order. And so immediately your sale, your revenue goes up by 20, 30, maybe 50, sometimes 100% just because they added the order bump. Now, aside from the order bump, there's also upsells. There's so after that, you're like, oh, you know, you like this, maybe you'll also like this. Hey, you want fries with that? Now, I do find it a little scummy sometimes if they're not very transparent about it. But I personally think some upsells are okay, and that's why I included it as well. Like, hey, maybe you want this too. You don't? Okay, no problem. But at least you can offer it, right? And so that can increase your revenue. Now, memberships is very important too. Recurring fees, you know, like a monthly membership. Some people love that. That's why we love Netflix, because you don't have to pay $500. We could just pay $10 or $12 a month. Maybe you don't like Netflix. I don't know. And then there's coupons. Coupons are very important to promote your courses. So if you say, hey, you get $10 or $20 or $50 off, for the next 3 days, that just gives people an urgency to buy more. Payment plans, that's very important. Some people don't want to pay right up front. They want to pay in like 3 times. Like instead of paying you $500, they want to pay 3 times $200 or something. And affiliates, if you buy the upsell. So they are trying to upsell you on it for $195 extra. If you think you can make more money with affiliate marketing, the people who promote your product and then get a percentage through the link, then you should add that too, but you don't have to. Now, and then, what's bad about it? Yeah, it's a high upfront payment, so that's it. And no quizzes yet. And I would add also only one order bump. That's another thing I was like, yeah, it would have been better if there were a few. So they said maybe they'll add quizzes later, and they don't do video hosting either, but that's okay. You can use You can either use Vimeo and pay a little bit for that, or you can just use a YouTube unlisted channel, which means they only can see the video if they have the link to it, which the link will be in the course, right? So they don't drive any traffic either. So we're splitting these up into no driving traffic, all of these, and then a few of them that will drive traffic. We'll go over those later. So Samcart is very similar to Thrivecart. It might look a little classier, but they're doing a lot more about marketing, and I think they can because it's so expensive. Look, the lowest plan is $59 a month, and then $299 $299 a month. There's so many features in the $299 a month which will help you increase your revenue that the $59 a month doesn't have. So I really think it's overpriced. It's super expensive. They do have a lot of features, and I'll go over those in a little bit. So everything Thrivecart has, they have too. Plus they have multiple order bumps. And so I think that can help if you want to go for Samcart, if you really think that makes a difference for that much money and recurring fees. They don't have a one-time fee. Is that they've seen people who add as many as 6 order bumps to their order. So they add like $100 or $200 worth of order bumps just to check the boxes. And so yeah, if you get that, yeah, that could be worth it, I guess. Then they do video hosting. They just recently started that, I think. So you don't have to get a YouTube Unlisted channel or Vimeo. They have great tips on their social media sometimes. So I would just check out their YouTube channel and get tips from them. But I would not buy this. I didn't buy it, and I never will, because I just think it's overpriced. And that's the most important con is it's expensive. There's recurring fees. And another thing I don't like about them is they're so scammy with their get-rich-quick marketing. They say, how this one change in my email made me $50 million extra or $50,000 extra. And they throw all these insane numbers at you. And even if it's true, it doesn't matter because it just doesn't apply to everyone. And to pull people in with your product by feeding their greed, by saying, oh, you can make this much money with it, and that's why you need to get my product, that already increases the incentive to spend more money on it. And so it makes them feel better about increasing their costs, which is insanely expensive. And so, like I said, I think it's a little scummy or a little scammy. I think it's a little, you know, I had a how you can make money from publishing course one time, and I noticed that the more you emphasize on just all these high numbers, like just telling people, imagine if you had $10,000 coming in every day, like the stuff like that would really do the trick. And I really didn't try to do that. I just tried to say like, hey, I made this much money with it, and if you publish books, you can make this much. And you know, yeah, some people bought the course, but more people bought courses from people who focused more on that element and that greed element. And I just really think it's a scummy way to do business. It's borderline get-rich-quick scheme, because if you see some of these YouTube videos or something, like whatever, man, I just think they're promoting it the wrong way. And Kajabi too. Kajabi does that too. Kajabi does it even more. I even saw YouTube ads where they said, yeah, my first week I did $100,000. Like, that's how they start the ad. And so I reported to YouTube and said, this is a get-rich-quick scheme. It doesn't even matter if it's true. It doesn't. You're not going to get the same results, you know? So I think that's an unethical way of marketing. Anyway, Kajabi is even more expensive. See, Kajabi really, I really think Kajabi is one of the worst. Out of all of these, Kajabi is the worst because it's just so expensive, recurring fees, and then they have all these limitations of how many contacts and how many customers and how many products. Here, on these two, you can have as many customers, as many students, as many courses as you want, as much content as you want, everything, okay? So they're way better. So I think Kajabi is really terrible. They have upsells, they have an easy interface, but so do these. I think these ones, once you figure it out, it's easy. And I guess what they do have better is they have email marketing sequences. So you can set up when somebody enters the email address that you can email them, and then it automatically sends another email in a few days or in a week or something. And so you can just have this whole sequence set up and never have to look at it, and it's just all automated. So it removes the temptation to subscribe to a MailChimp or Aweber or these other email marketing services because it's already included in Kajabi. And I guess that's why they justify this high price, because they're like, you know, you're not just getting a course creation platform, you're also getting an email marketing service. But like I said, they have a lot of limitations with that too, so I really don't think it's worth it. And then they have some stuff like Facebook Pixel, yeah, like you could track that. And so Podia is all right, I guess. It's a lot cheaper than these two. But again, it's a monthly fee, and that's still why I like Thrivecart the best, because it just has one-time lifetime access fee. Anyway, Podia and Teachable and Thinkific are very similar. They have a few differences. The webinars and email marketing sequences, they focus heavily on that. So if you want marketing, email marketing included in it, I would just go for Podia, not Kajabi. And then they have webinars, which I think maybe Kajabi has it too. I don't know, but they mention it specifically. And then the bad thing is recurring fees, only Stripe and PayPal, and no order bumps or live chat. And the live chat is actually the good thing. They do have a live chat. And that is something that I was like, oh yeah, so if somebody comes to your website, it has a little pop-up with, what can I help you with? And then you can just live chat with either a bot or a real person there instead of having to send an email. And so that can really get customers to feel more engaged and maybe even convince them to buy something. So that is that. So $33 gets you the basics, $75 gets you a bit more. So yeah, no order bumps and only 2 payment methods, no Apple or Google Pay. Yeah, not so good. Same thing with these ones, I think. Teachable is very well known, but I was a little shocked when I read all these limitations, how expensive and how limiting it actually was. So for the $39, you get like a very basic version. $119, you get everything, I guess. You get 1 course for free, but that's how they try to suck you in, right? But then they take $1 for each transaction. So every time somebody buys a course, they take $1 plus 10%. So if you sell a $100 course, you have to hand over $11 to them every time. So that's the caveat for that. They do have order bumps, the paid version, not the free one. Affiliate marketing, but the affiliate marketing only comes at $119 a month. That's expensive, man. And then the bad side is they do have recurring fees. Even at $39, they charge a 5% transaction fee. So if you get the basic one, they still charge you 5% for every customer. So every time somebody buys something for $100, you lose $5 to them. Like, none of these have any fees. You just pay them either one time or monthly, and you get all the revenue from every customer. Like, I think that's really stupid about Teachable. Only at $119 a month, they waive the fee. So only if you pay the highest, you get rid of that 5%. And there's limitations of how many products you can put there. So you can't like put endless number of courses. You could just, there's a limitation to it. So really limiting. I don't really like them. Thinkific is a little better, I think. I think Thinkific is a little better. They're very comparable. They have a 1 course for unlimited students for free. So they have this too. So they try to suck you in by giving you 1 course for free with unlimited students. Which, if you only have 1 video course, and I guess you could say, I'm not splitting all this up into multiple video courses, I'm just putting it all in 1 video course. Hey, fine. Then you could go with the free version that they have. But yeah, if you want more features out of them, which I did think they were kind of cool. I actually considered Thinkific until I saw some other ones. Until I saw Thrivecart. I was just like, yeah, that's it. One-time fee. That's it. That's everything to me. And multiple payment systems. So that's why I like them better. So yeah. There's recurring fees. None of these people drive traffic, by the way. And the following don't drive traffic either. And here's Gumroad, Payhip, and Patreon. They don't drive any people to your website. So you have to do all the marketing. And that's fine. You know, that's okay. Because as you will see, if you do it through a website that does do the marketing, there's some downsides to that too. Gumroad is free. It's easy to use, easy payment system. Also allows audio, ebooks, templates, etc. So you can put some stuff there that's not just video courses. You can even put like, what did I see? What else? Like my brushes, like digital brushes. That's what I saw people sell there, artists. They take 10%. It looks kind of cheaply made. It's hard to find anything there. I didn't really like that. The search feature on there was really bad. Like I literally looked for the title of my audiobooks that I put on there, and they didn't even pop up on the first page. Like, that's how bad it is. But yeah, if you drive your own traffic to it, sure, then you can just have a direct link. It looks cheap, no sales page, no real course features, so it's not really ideal for courses. Payhip however, is it's free, or it's $29 to $99 a month, and I'll explain that in a bit. The digital or physical products, you can sell that here too. Many course features. So Payhip is a pretty good alternative, I would say. If you don't want to get Thrivecart and pay up front, Payhip is the way to go. That's my second recommendation. Many course features, sales page, memberships, coupons. It's just really made for courses. Yeah, you can also sell other products, but I think it's mostly made for courses. They take 5%. They don't have any upsells or order bumps, so that's why I like Thrivecart even better. And I think that will be worth it in the end. If you only sell a few copies of your course or a few people that get access to it, you already make up for that money. But that's just me. But if you want zero risk, if you don't want to pay anything up front, Payhip is a good alternative because, well, if you're willing to pay 5% to Payhip every time somebody buys it, and you're like, yeah, but as long as I don't have to spend any money, I'm on a zero budget, well then sure, go with Payhip. They take 5%, no upsells or order bumps, so that's a downside. No Apple or Google Pay, just PayPal and Stripe are integrated. And I think you get some more features, and it waives the fees good when you start paying per month, but then you're paying per month. So once your revenue says, like, once the 5% of your revenue starts exceeding the $29 or $99 a month, I guess that's when you should start paying monthly. Unless, yeah, I guess that's when you think like, okay, now it's worth it to pay this because I'm missing out by giving them that 5% every time. So, or you can solve it by just going to Thrivecart, my favorite. Anyway, so yeah, they don't have as many salesy features as Thrivecart, but they are free, and then they just take 5%. And so yeah, also the payment system. You might lose a few customers because they want to pay with Apple Pay on their phone or whatever. And then there's Patreon. It's free. It's a well-known website. A lot of people trust it. I think that's why some of these I've seen artists that have video courses and they have them all on Patreon. And I think they also have their own website, but they also have a Patreon. And I think it's because people are used to the Patreon system. Maybe their credit cards are already attached. And so it's very well known. It's trusted. They know they can get a refund if something goes wrong. And so that's why sometimes they still use that. It's easy to post like a blog instead of a course. And it's not really made for courses. You just post videos and posts and pictures and stuff. It's like a blog. And so if they pay a monthly fee, 5 or 10 or 20 or 100, I've seen $200 a month even sometimes, they'll get access to certain features in that. And you can like hide that or give it to them. The only downside is they take 5 to 12%. So some people, they pay up to 12% to Patreon. And so that's not really worth it to me. Like, I just think that's dumb. And it's really not made for video courses. And there's not a real sales page either. I guess people go to Patreon when they feel like, I want something back for it, but I want to support this person. But it's stupid because you're also supporting me if you just buy my stuff, right? From my own website. So I kind of feel like they're using a little loophole there to tell people you're giving and you're helping these people when you're just actually just buying their stuff just like you would on any other website, and then they take a percentage of it. So that's Patreon. Like, there's no real sales page. It's just like, here, this is what you get, and there's no video or any. Yeah, I guess you can put a video on there. But yeah, there's no order bumps, no anything that really helps increase your revenue. So that's why I'm not really a Patreon fan. And then there's a few websites. Now, let's say you don't want to do any marketing. You don't have a following. You don't want to have a following. You don't want to spend any money on ads. You don't want any of that stuff. And I've had a period of time that I did that. I just uploaded content and I was like, it needs to sell itself, right? I'll rank it for keywords, and I'll just create courses, and hopefully people will just bump into it. And that's why you go to these 3 websites. The first one is Udemy, which is the best known one. They drive traffic. They're the market leader basically in cheap courses. Now, there's a lot of downsides to Udemy, and the first one is they slash your prices. So if you have a course that you think is worth $50 or $100 because you're giving them 20 hours of great content, but it doesn't matter because they will determine your price. They'll have these promos running, and they'll slice your prices all the way down to $10 or $15. and you'll only get 30% of that. So your course, you could have spent 100 hours on it, but you're still just going to get $3.50 for a sale. Now, having said that, you might not have to do anything for it, so it's very passive once you've created it, but it comes at a cost, right? I have hundreds of course sales on one course, and I only made a few $1,000s because all I had was $3.50 or $5.50 per course. It varies. They can delete your courses. By the way, like if your course doesn't sell enough, doesn't get enough engagement, if not enough people are going through your lessons, they'll just delete it because they think, well, that's clutter on our website. We don't need that. We only want best-selling courses. So you could have put all that work into it, and now they just said, well, sorry, we're going to kick you while you're down, and it didn't sell well enough. Well, now it's really not going to sell because we're going to delete it. So they do that. Aside from that, it's very competitive because they drive traffic, so everybody's trying to rank high. The highest ranking courses still drive their own traffic. So I decided to have, because a lot of these courses rank by length, right? They slice all the prices down all the way to $10 or $15, and so a lot of customers think, what is the best bang for my buck? Oh yeah, the longest course. So they sort by length. So some of these niches, I went into them and I made the longest course just to beat the other courses in length. And what happened is I did get some more sales, but I still wasn't ranking on top. And you know why? Because I noticed that still the other people are still driving traffic to Udemy just so they can keep that ranking high. And to me, that's just stupid, because why would you drive traffic to them when you have to give a portion to them and you don't keep the customer or the email address or anything, and you can't determine the price? Like, seriously, like I seriously think driving traffic to Udemy is one of the least profitable things you can do. Like, why wouldn't you just drive them to your own website so you can sell them more, and so you can determine your own price and get more out of it? So yeah, that's one thing. So yeah, Udemy sounds lucrative when you see the passive element of just once you upload it, it will start making a little bit of money, but it's really hard and competitive. And now here's another thing. If you create a course and you're going to do that, you might as well upload them on these other websites too. Now, Skillshare, you have to be careful. They drive traffic, but their payments are very low, so you get paid per minute or something. And if you try to manipulate the system, they kick you out. And they're very strict. I had 2 strikes on my account, and I didn't even do anything wrong on purpose. Like, they just started making up reasons to get rid of me. And I was like, okay, fine, I guess I won't upload any more courses, because the next time I do that, you're just going to delete my account. And then later I found out some of those courses got deleted because, just like in Udemy, they didn't sell very well enough. Like, not enough people were watching them. And so they were like, oh, this one's not successful, let's kick it out. So they did that. They can, and they probably will delete your courses, and it's very competitive. So Skillshare is probably my least favorite out of these 3. Now, Skillsuccess is less known, but they're not very strict. They're very friendly. They're less competitive. They slash your prices, so it's a subscription thing, so you're not going to get that much for it. And they also drive less traffic. So I make a few $100s a month on Udemy with my courses, and then about $50 or $20 a month on Skillshare, and then on Skillsuccess I think $100 to $150 a month with all my courses combined. So the same course could be uploaded to multiple platforms if it doesn't violate Skillshare's guidelines, because they're really terrible. And so yeah, there's that model too. They drive traffic. But if you want to determine your own prices, if you don't want to bow to the strict rules of these dictatorship platforms who can kick you out or delete your course at any moment, if you don't want to compete too much with that, and you think you can build a following on social media or drive traffic from ads somehow, then I recommend any of these options. And like I said, Thinkific was okay. I considered it for a while. Podia has better email marketing stuff. Kajabi is absolutely terrible in my opinion. Samcart is great, but is very expensive, so it's also a terrible option. So my recommendation is, if you're a complete cheapskate and you don't want to pay anything, you should go with Payhip, because it's the best option. It's made for courses, it has a lot of features, but it does lack a few features like order bumps, upsells, etc. So if you think you can make more money and you're willing to pay a little bit up front, lifetime access. And I'm saying I'm a little biased because I bought this one, and I do have an affiliate link where you can buy it via my affiliate link where I get a small commission for it. So I'm kind of selling it to you, but I'm also convinced of it. You know what I mean? I think if you're a real cheapskate and you don't want to risk any money up front, yeah, go with Payhip. That's the best option. But if you're willing to even invest a little bit to get order bumps, what else do they have that they don't have? Order bumps, upsells, and let's see, multiple payment plans like Apple Pay, Google Pay, stuff like that. Then I would go for Thrivecart. And you don't even have to get the upsell if you don't want to. But I would go for Thrivecart because it's worth it. You pay $500 and the rest of your life you can use this with all those features. Let's say you have a few order bumps or a few upsells that make the difference. Or a few customers that will buy because you allowed them to buy with Apple Pay or something like that. Now you're already like broke even, and then you don't have to hand over 5% for every sale to Payhip. So or pay a monthly fee. So that's why I like this one the best. There you go.